Most people think when they need to, but some people can't stop thinking, and that difference quietly shapes their entire life. You know the type. They're quiet in a room full of noise. They notice things no one else sees. They ask questions that make others uncomfortable, and most of the time they're alone, not because they want to be, but because their mind won't let them exist any other way. Deep thinkers aren't just introspective or thoughtful. They're trapped in a constant pattern of awareness that most people will never experience, and the cost of that awareness is higher than anyone admits. Inside the mind of a deep thinker, nothing ever really turns off. While most people think only when a problem appears and then move on, deep thinkers analyze everything automatically. The conversation from 3 days ago, the look someone gave them across the room, the tone behind a single sentence, the meaning hidden in silence, and they don't do this by choice. Their brain is wired to search for patterns, connections, and deeper meaning even when there may be none, a state psychologists refer to as hyperreflectivity, and living in that state is exhausting. Deep thinkers don't just process reality differently, they experience it differently. When something happens, they don't simply react, they dissect it from every angle. Why it was said that way, what was left unsaid, what it might mean later. And while everyone else has already moved on, they're still there, thinking, replaying, questioning. It's like watching the entire movie while everyone else only hears the soundtrack. And once you start seeing beneath the surface, you can't unsee it. This is where isolation begins, not because deep thinkers dislike people, but because most conversations feel painfully shallow. When you're someone who thinks deeply about meaning, existence, and human nature, small talk feels empty. How's the weather? Did you see the game? Crazy week. These exchanges aren't connection, they're noise, and since most of life is built on surface-level interaction, deep thinkers often retreat, not out of arrogance, but because being surrounded by people while feeling unseen is worse than being alone. They're also deeply misunderstood. When asked a simple question, they give a complex answer. When someone makes a casual statement, they notice the contradictions. When someone tells a story, they pay attention to what wasn't said, and to most people that feels overwhelming. They're labeled as overthinkers, too intense, too serious, told to relax, stop reading into things, keep it simple. But for a deep thinker, pretending the world is simple feels dishonest. Over time, many learn to mask, to smile at jokes they don't find funny, to engage in conversations that drain them. But inside, something slowly disappears. Decision-making becomes another struggle, not because they lack intelligence, but because they see too much. Where most people see 2 or 3 options, deep thinkers see 20, along with every possible consequence, risk, and ripple effect, and this leads to analysis paralysis. Not confusion, but overload. They know too much, and every choice feels heavy. Alongside this comes a quiet sadness, not depression, but an existential weight, because thinking deeply about life means confronting uncomfortable truths, impermanence, randomness, the fact that many people live on autopilot, chasing things that won't fulfill them, and once you see that, you can't unsee it. You notice people fighting over temporary beliefs, stressing over things that won't matter, clinging to certainty where none exists. And you realize most people don't want awareness, they want comfort. This awareness creates patterns that repeat. Deep thinkers become constant observers, picking up on tone shifts, body language, inconsistencies, remembering conversations others forgot, and this level of perception makes people uneasy because no one likes being seen too clearly. They also require solitude, not as escape, but as survival. because every interaction adds mental weight, and without time alone to process, they burn out. Many struggle with validation because their thoughts don't fit neatly into conventional language, and after being misunderstood enough times, they stop sharing altogether, keeping entire inner worlds locked inside their head. Perfectionism follows naturally, because when you can see every flaw and every missed opportunity with brutal clarity, self-compassion becomes difficult, and self-awareness turns into self-judgment, creating a cycle of exhaustion and paralysis. But here's the truth. If you're a deep thinker, your mind is both your gift and your burden. The same depth that isolates you is also what allows you to see reality clearly. And that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're rare. The key isn't to shut your mind down completely, but to learn when to rest it, to step out of analysis and simply exist, even briefly. It's also about finding a few people, not many, who think the way you do, who understand the weight you carry, because realizing you're not alone changes everything. Most people won't understand you, won't appreciate your depth, and won't meet you where you are. And that's okay, because you're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to understand yourself. And once you do, the need for external validation fades. Being a deep thinker isn't a curse, but it's not easy either. It's a constant tension between thinking and living, observation and participation, depth and connection. And while most people will never understand that struggle, you do. And if you recognize yourself in these words, you're not too much. You're simply wired differently, and the world needs that depth, even if it doesn't always know what to do with it.